Steve Bannon is supporting candidates who he believes will fight the establishment. The White House and Republicans in Washington more broadly, they're at risk of losing their majority if Bannon is successful. Since he left the White House, Bannon has sort of been looking for candidates who are aligned with him ideologically, who he thinks will help the president move his agenda forward. In Alabama, Steve Bannon supported the candidate that Trump did not support.
You're going to have to fight every day to take Washington back, and by taking Washington back, take the control of your own lives back.
Steve Bannon's candidate was successful, which was this hugely humiliating event for Donald Trump, if humiliation were something he were capable of feeling. And going forward, it's not really clear why Trump would risk being humiliated like that again. I think Bannon is hoping that weeding out some of the people who are not ideologically in sync with him and with the America First agenda will make it easier for him to accomplish things. And so, a big part of his agenda is getting rid of so-called never Trump Republicans.
Every person in this country should get down every night and thank God Donald Trump is President of the United States.
Finding people who he believes will not only support the agenda, but will fight for it and will not just sort of bow to McConnell or bow to whoever in the establishment is sort of setting the agenda for the day. If you look at what the president has been unable to accomplish, which is most of his agenda, it's seen from the anti-establishment right as being evidence that, the swamp is alive and well and that they need to do a lot of remodeling. Electing Donald Trump was not enough. And a lot of his supporters, I think, have been surprised by that, right? Because they thought once he got into office, that would be that. He would be able to do whatever he wanted, but there are limits to his power without Congress. Look, Donald Trump lost the popular vote by over 3 million. The idea that he would be able to win re-election without accomplishing at least half of his agenda, or at least a quarter of his agenda, it seems really outlandish. I don't think it could happen. And so 2018 really matters, right? If they don't keep this majority and they can't pass anything and he gets nothing done that he can tout, at a certain point you wonder if his voters will start to say that it's his fault.
On the day of November 8th, I knew it was divine providence to help us win.
So Steve Bannon lives in a townhouse in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill that they call the Breitbart Embassy. And Bannon lives on the top 2 floors of the Breitbart Embassy. Then if you go downstairs, that's where Breitbart is. That's where the bloggers sit, the bloggers who aren't at the White House at least. I don't know of anybody else in politics who lives in the same place where they work, except for the president. It should worry anybody who thinks that this is sort of something to laugh off, that Steve Bannon's not really a threat to the establishment. When it comes to what's on Steve Bannon's Pinterest board, I don't know the answer to that. And I don't think anybody really does. And it's interesting because we have heard so much about him, but there's still this cloud of mystery that surrounds him, which I think is very strategic on his part. I think it helped Steve Bannon to kind of have this Darth Vader reputation. But, it sort of leaves us all scratching our heads wondering, what could he be up to next if the presidency wasn't enough?